Everybody, Mr. Schwerman here again with our fourth JavaScript tutorial. If you haven't seen the first three, go ahead and watch those. This one is going to be all about variable and data types in JavaScript. So in the last video, we started to see a little bit of how you define variables with that let command. And in this one, we're going to go into more depth about the different types of variable. So the first thing I'm going to do with this is we're going to go one by one. So I've named my variables. You can give them almost any name. I've named them first variable, second variable, third variable, fourth variable, fifth variable, just to keep them straight. And I'm going to go one by one and talk a little bit about them and show you kind of how they look. So I'm going to comment everything out that I'm not working on. So right now I'm looking at the first variable. Okay, first variable is a string. I've named it string, and I put these single quotes around it. Remember, that's what tells JavaScript I'm looking at a string. I'm looking at text. I'm not looking at numbers. So check this out. I'm going to save this. I'm going to refresh this. And it says alert string and string 2. And the reason here it said string and string 2 is when I say alert first variable, it looks at, hey, what did I define first variable? I called it string, and it put string. And then sometimes you don't know what you're working with. You try to do math, and I say first variable plus 2. And the default behavior for plus is simply to append two strings together. So it says, all right, string 2. It doesn't try to do any kind of math with that. So that's string. String is just text, and if I try to combine string with the numbers, it's going to start seeing it all as text. That's strings. One thing to note is in some other programming languages, you also have a thing called a character. A character is like a string, but only one character, like the letter C or the letter A. JavaScript does not deal in characters. Even single characters are still called strings. All right, second one we're going to look at is a number. So I'm defining the second variable as the number 3. And I'm going to do this. I got two parts. So first, it is going to, so I want to uncomment the other one. And I want to comment all this out for you. So I'm going to see an alert second variable and alert second variable plus 2. So I'm doing the same thing where I'm adding 2, but let's see, now that it's a number, let's see if it behaves differently. So first, it's going to alert me to what second variable is. It's the number 3, great. And then plus 2, now it's 5. Now it's not treating it as a string and not saying 3 and 2 is 32. It's saying, oh, 3 plus 2, what is that? That's 5. JavaScript can also do math. Those are number variables. Another thing that we can do, and I'll show you here with the number variable, is we can redefine variables. So let's say I do this. Now I can say second variable equals second variable plus 2, and then alert second variable. So here, ask yourself before you watch the video, what is this going to alert? What's going to show up on the alert? What number? Let's find out. Save it, refresh it. 5. 5 comes up because second variable was defined as 3, but then right here I redefined it. I said actually now second variable is what it was before plus 2, and that's 5. So now the program knows, oh, second variable is 5, got it, and when you say alert second variable, that's what it alerts. All right, so that's numbers. Now we're going to talk about Boolean. A Boolean is something that is either true or false. And what we can do with that is make decisions. So I'm going to save it, I'm going to hit OK, I'm going to refresh. So the first thing that's going to happen is I'm going to just see alert, what is third variable? Should be true. Let's see. True, very good. And then here's where it gets interesting. Again, we've seen it a little before, we'll see it more later. This if statement. If third variable. So in other words, it's saying if third variable is true, do this. Alert, it was true. If not, don't do it. So let's see. Okay, it was true. Great. To compare, if I change third variable to false and save and refresh, I still got my alert telling me it's false, but it doesn't give me the second alert because if is looking, hey, is this true? Change back to true for now. I will comment out the alert, and that is Booleans. All right, fourth var. Look at this, fourth variable. I don't set it equal to anything. I wonder what that is. We're going to find out right now. I'm going to uncomment the fourth variable, save it. What happens to my alert? Undefined. So an undefined variable simply means, hey, you never defined it. What is it? I don't know, because I never said fourth variable is something. So when I say alert fourth variable, it's like, buddy, that's undefined. I wonder what's going to happen. Fourth variable plus 2. Let's click OK. NaN. NaN stands for not a number. So I had something undefined. Undefined is not 0. It's not infinity. It's not a string, right? A string would just append it with the 2, and it would say like undefined 2. It's not a string. Undefined is its own data type. And when I try to combine it with the 2, JavaScript tells me, hey, that's not a number. So that is undefined. Then the fifth one is null. People confuse null and undefined. And I just want to show you the difference. So null is another data type. I have defined fifth variable as being null. And what null should mean is that it essentially doesn't have a value. So I'm going to refresh it. I'm going to say null, because the first alert was just what is fifth var, it's null. Second alert is fifth var plus 2. Now undefined gave us not a number, but null gives us 2. When you're doing math, JavaScript will treat null as a 0, and 0 plus 2 obviously is 2. So that is the null value. And then the final thing that is still a data type is actually not a variable, but I'll show you I got it here, is a constant. Sometimes I have numbers that I don't want to change. Maybe the number of hours in a day. I know that that's always 24, and I need to reference that a lot. I can define it as a constant. Hours in a day is always 24, and then anytime I call this constant, hours in a day, I'll save it and I'll refresh it. It'll print 24. And there we have it. There's a bunch of the main different data types, characters, or sorry, not characters, strings, numbers, Boolean, true or false, undefined, which also taught us about not a number, null, and constants. Now this is a number, that's the data type. I just wanted you to see the difference between a constant and a variable. So there you go, that's the second video. Hope you enjoyed.